And I think it's really profound and really important. So I think that NGOs by their nature are donation generated and they're non-for-profit. But I think what they also do is they're ground level and they're having probably the biggest impact on our society. And what we're seeing is that those who are having success, they need to be here because what we have is we have the people asking questions about where the answers lie. And a lot of them have the answers. So we have businesses and government looking at how we can help. And then you've got the NGOs who found the solutions to these big social challenges, right? And so we've got the success from them. And so bringing them here allows them to engage with businesses to get the funding so they can scale. It allows them to meet with government so they can help influence some of the government's policies around these social aspects. So I would encourage all NGOs to participate in these type of programs. Get hold of our publications, look online and find our community of businesses and government departments who want to speak to them.
So you have this interesting synergy where you have Vision 2030 and then the Vision 2030, the Sustainable Development Goals. But when you look at it actually, the Sustainable Development Goals came in 2015. The NDP was launched in 2012. As a Vision 2030, the National Development Plan of South Africa as a country. So actually NDP came before the Vision 2030 by the SDGs. And yes, even South Africa did contribute very much to the Vision 2030 because by the time we went to the 2015 to discuss the MDGs, which was the previous aspirations, then in 2015 we came up with what was called post-2015 agenda, which is the SDGs. So a lot of lessons also came. If you look at the synergy, both of them are aspirations around dealing with poverty, dealing with inequality, and making sure that there is an economy that works for the people. So that synergy is about both South Africa and the world would like to see in 2030 better lives for all, the economy that is inclusive, that is fairer, that reduces levels of unemployment, but of importance, the livelihoods of everybody should be made better by 2030. So it is about the development agenda at a global level. We do have also the development agenda in Africa, the Agenda 2063. And again, we can say the Agenda 2063 was adopted in Africa by the AU in 2013, a year after the NDP. And SDGs came 2 years after the Agenda 2063. You look at the three agendas, SDGs, Agenda 2063, Vision 2030, the NDP in the country, as the three aspirations towards betterment of the livelihoods of the people in the country, at the continental level as well as globally at SDG. So it's all the aspirations that all of us have to see the better lives for all.
If you think about the Vision 2030 Summit, what it is all about is it brings together people, right? It talks about the National Development Plan. And in the National Development Plan, there's talks about unemployment, there's talks about job creation, there's talks about entrepreneurship and how to grow the economy in its entirety. So what Dynamic DNA does is we bring on those unemployed youth, right? We take them into job roles that are scarce within the market. Because if you look at it, there's two aspects to it. There's that unemployed youth that is sitting there with no hope whatsoever. Then there's an industry that is requiring a skill. So what we do as an organization is we try and bridge the two together. We train and skill those individuals to go into those job roles, partnering up with the corporates. So it all talks to what Vision 2030 is all about. Forming those partnerships, coming into such a space, engaging, networking, and building opportunities for the greater good of the country.
Well, StatSA is the independent measurement body in South Africa, and we do all official and other statistics. And what we also do is we coordinate other providers of statistics in the country, because it's not just StatSA that's responsible for all the statistics. So through the Statistics Act 6 of 99, we coordinate and produce and disseminate official statistics. What we see is, in terms of implementing the National Development Plan, we've made some inroads. Poverty and inequality is still the biggest two issues that we've got in the country, and we're seeing that some people are moving out of poverty, but there's still more work to be done in terms of poverty. The major drivers of poverty is unemployment and education. So we need to make a difference in terms of unemployment, and we need to make sure that people get educated in order to be employed. Also, our economy needs to grow more. Our economy is currently growing for the last quarter at 3.1%, and what the NDP says, our economy needs to grow above 5% for us to generate the kind of jobs that's needed in the country.
Well, agriculture is quite important for South Africa's economy in the first place, but secondly, it's also important for food security for the whole nation. Although agriculture contributes about 2.5% of the GDP, that's only primary agriculture. Once you've gone through the processing and everything else of the products that come out of primary agriculture, you would find that both the direct and indirect contribution of agriculture to the GDP contributes about 30% of the GDP. That's quite significant. So, in order for agriculture to be successful, agriculture actually needs to be positively respond to the various challenges of climate change, the various challenges of natural resources. So investment into research and technology to develop new technologies that actually should enable agriculture production are key and a requirement for agriculture to be successful in order for us to get the yields that we need to get.
For more stories like these, go to www.social-tv.co.za. Subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on our social mediums.